And now the Hansons and Hiatus podcast with Nate and Alexis.
Happy Friday, fuckers. It is episode 86 of the Hansons on Hiatus podcast. I am your host, Nate, and this is my wife, Alexis.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
And don't forget to support the podcast. buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can buy us some virtual beers, which we will turn into real beers as usual.
And happily drink them.
Yes. And I wanted to thank one of our listeners, Tom, who bought us 8 beers over the weekend.
Yes. Thank you so much, Tom. We appreciate you so much.
And they've already been drank.
Done and done.
Yeah, thank you very much. Also visit hansonsonhiatus.com. You can see the merch shop there. And you got a bunch of designs. You got Halloween. You got some podcast shirts. You got Happy Friday fuckers. You got everything.
Yep. Day of the Dead, all of them.
And you can also become a monthly supporter. You can become one of our fuckies.
Yes.
And for 99 cents a month, you can be a little fucky. For $4.99 a month, you can be a medium fucky.
Yep.
And for $9.99 a month, you can be a big old fucky.
Yes.
And
we love all our fuckies.
Yes, exactly.
Big or small.
And that's just if you enjoy the stories and the information and what we're doing here, any support would be happily appreciated. And that way, if you want to do it every month, you don't have to remember. You can just, throw us $1 or $5 or $10 or whatever, So
Exactly.
yes.
Automated service. Who wants to remember to be a fucky? You can just go on being a fucky.
Yeah. And at the merch shop, you can get a fucky shirt, right?
Yeah.
Be a little fucky.
Sign up to be a fucky and get a fucky shirt, and you're styling.
Boom, boom. And as usual, like, follow, share, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, YouTube Music at Hansons on Hiatus. Yes. Okay, so we are back from our trip.
We're back
to the good old US of A.
Yes. We're back in Mexico.
Yeah. Oh, and first of all, I wanted to say happy birthday to my brother Alex, my little brother. He is 38 years old today.
Wow, 38. Happy birthday, Alex.
Yeah.
We love you so much.
To be young again.
Oh, to be 38.
Yeah.
Really
Oh, shoot. But if you remember from the previous episodes, our trip, we were going up to Iowa. Well, first Chicago, then Iowa. For the Iowa State UCF game,
Yes.
and then we went over to Pittsburgh to see your family.
Yep.
So we are...
It's been a long couple of weeks.
Yeah, it has. And it was a hectic start to the trip because right before we left, like literally the day before,
Yeah.
we're doing something, or I was doing something in the house, and you'd gone somewhere, and then you came back, and I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and you go, "Oh my God, what is all this water?"
Yes.
And apparently the toilet was leaking.
Yeah. Toilet sprung a leak.
Yeah.
Yes, something cracked.
Yeah. Well, what we thought at first when you were like, "Oh my God, the water," and it was like everywhere. It was maybe like a half inch in the bathroom. It was coming out into the living room under the couch over there and
Just
everything.
got to the couch. Oh my God.
Yeah. And so it was coming out the back. And so what it looked like was the little tube that comes out of the wall that goes into the toilet that brings in the water.
Yeah.
We thought that it looked like it was coming out of like the washer or whatever that holds it together.
Yeah, a little gasket or something.
So I turn off the water and it's still coming out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm flushing the toilet trying to get all the water out of the tank. And I'm like, why is there still water coming out of here? We couldn't figure it out.
It's just going everywhere.
Yeah. And then we look, and on the inside, I mean, I guess the outside too. And like, if you're looking at the tank, it's like the front left corner right by the handle.
Yeah.
There was a crack all the way down
Like
the back of the tank.
Little hairline crack. Just
Yeah.
Where did you come from?
Yeah. So it really wasn't leaking out of the tube. It was just in the tank, and the water that was still in there was just dripping out of it.
Yeah.
So then we're all worried because, it's like, well, do we have the maintenance guy come and fix it now, or wait till we get back and just shut the water off? Do we have to pay for the toilet?
Yeah. Is he gonna have to replace the whole toilet or just a tank
Yep.
or what? Oh my God, so many questions.
So thank God, because we were leaving. Our flight wasn't super early. It was at like 1 p.m.
Yeah.
And so I think we had to leave for the bus at like 10.
Yeah.
Like 10 o'clock in the morning. So we're like, oh God, this is gonna be a headache. And then I'm worried, what if the maintenance guy fixes it and he doesn't do like the best job, even though he's fantastic. You never know.
There's
like
always
if they,
problems.
And nobody's gonna be in our place for a week and a half. So what if he doesn't fix it correctly and it like leaks and fucking destroys all our shit while we're gone? So I'm like stressing out about that.
Because that's what could have happened if we weren't home. If we would have left a day earlier, which I think we were thinking about doing, our whole place would have been flooded. No one would have known what was going on until it reached the door and started heading down the stairs to everybody else.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh
So,
my God.
thank God we did not have to pay for the toilet.
Nope.
Our maintenance guy came over the next morning, 9 a.m.
Islan is amazing.
He
I know I've
is.
said it before, but Islan, I know you listen. You're amazing.
Yes.
You're the best. Rock star.
And he fixed it. He just had to replace the tank and brand new. Actually, did we turn the water back on? I never turned it back on.
I did when we
got back.
here.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was like, wait, did they even?
We
turn?
still turned it. It was
Yeah.
fixed and everything, but still turned it
Yeah,
off.
we still
just in
turned it off
case.
just to be safe. And I know probably most people recommend that.
Yeah.
And now we actually do that. Now we're like, okay, we're gonna turn it off every time we fucking leave.
Yeah, once for a good amount of time.
Yeah, because
it's turning
if
off.
that happened 24 hours later, done.
all of our stuff would have been ruined.
Yeah, because it would have just kept on filling up the tank with the crack because it was just small enough crack where it wasn't like it fell apart or anything
Yeah, it would
that.
like hold the water, but it was boop 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 dripping enough to flood the whole bathroom.
Yeah. Oh, geez. So that was good that we were able to get that taken care of, but kind of a nightmare situation right before we're leaving.
Yes.
But we, took a flight to Chicago because we were flying there to stay with our friends, Chris and Kayla, staying there the night. And then we were driving over with them to Iowa. So we kind of hitched a ride since it is more expensive to fly to Des Moines.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was a good car trip.
Yeah, it was.
Car ride.
But when we were flying up there, like when you're in the airport and like you're at your gate and you're waiting, and there's always like one family that decided to have 10 kids and then not do any parenting whatsoever.
And they're always in your way
Yeah.
for some reason.
Why is that family always sitting right behind you? I mean, there's 200 some people on the plane, always right behind you or somewhere near you, like with a screaming baby or whatever. It's very rarely it's somewhere else. It's always right by you, right?
Yeah, it's always we're always in the back rows, and the kids are always in the back rows, like they know.
Yeah. So of course, this family with 2 kids that were 3 kids, right?
They had 3 little girls. Yeah. Yeah.
So it was like, wasn't it like, so the row right behind us, the girl was right behind me, like the daughter,
Yeah,
and
one of
then
them.
the mom and the dad, and
Yeah.
then the 2 other little girls were in the row behind them by themselves with
Yep.
some other poor soul.
Yep.
So I don't know why that was the smart thing to do instead of having one of the parents sit in the seats
Yeah.
with 2, and then the other parent in the middle of the other 2 kids.
Oh, let me tell you what, this dad was no help to this mom or the girls. I think that's why she had to have the dad sit by her, because he was one of the kids.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing anything.
No, he didn't do shit.
They're
And-
just turning around, yelling at their 2 little girls.
Yeah. So then the girl right behind me, I don't know, like if people don't realize this, and I might not either if I'm, in a seat or whatever, where if any part of the seat that you touch, it jerks the whole seat in front of you.
Oh, people know.
Like when you go by, like walking down the aisle, when people put their hands on your seat, it moves your whole fucking seat,
It
you know?
does.
And it's the same thing with your tray or whatever. This little girl was like kicking my seat, of course. That's like a rule as a child. I think when you come out of the hospital, they tell you what to do. And they're like, all right, you guys need to make sure if you're ever on a fucking plane, kick the back of the seat constantly, but make sure your parent does absolutely nothing about it.
Yeah.
Because it was like the mom's on her iPad and what do you do? I mean, I guess, I don't know. I'm not a super confrontational person, so I don't want to like turn around and be like, excuse me. I mean, I guess I should, but I just I give them that like dirty look, like, come on.
I will. I kept turning around in the crack because the little girl could see my face, and I go, hey. She'd look at me, and then mom would go, stop kicking his chair. But why do I have to turn around and say anything? I turned around like 4 times, was like, hey, cut it out.
Yeah, but the same thing, like I was saying, like people don't realize how much you can actually feel it. I could feel this little girl's foot like up my butt, basically. Like she was, I don't know, like kicking the underside of the seat or whatever. I could feel like it felt like, when you put your legs under the covers and you can feel it like go through. Like I could feel her foot like under the seat cushion or whatever. So as an adult on the plane, I jumped up and down as hard as I could on my seat so it would squish her fucking foot, because fuck that bitch. But I did do that because every time she was like, I could feel her pushing her leg against my seat
you're
or
like-
the foot, I would just like jam back on it, like motherfucker. And she wasn't doing anything. And she was one of those parents that, and I get as a parent, you probably learn to drown out this stuff,
Yeah.
but when you're in public, you have to fucking regulate your kids.
Yeah.
Like that's without question.
Especially when they're affecting people that don't have kids. I'm not a mom sitting here with my 3 kids like, it's okay, we're all kicking the seats, we get it. Like, pay attention to your child and that he could be, disrupting somebody else. She was tiny. I can understand kids have tiny legs, and she's sitting in the seat and she's getting antsy. So I saw her. She's putting her feet up on your chair while she's, reading her iPad back and then moving around a bunch. But you should go, don't kick his chair, or the kids that flip the tray up and down like a million times.
Yeah,
You're like, oh
it's
my
like,
God.
it moves my whole seat. So, but you could just tell the type of mom this was, because like she kind of like would stop every now and then from her iPod. Hey, stop that.
Oh,
And, like,
she had no problem being bitchy at the dad, though, but not the kids.
But I could just tell that she was like out of touch with like flying on a plane, because the stewardess, or what do they call them now? Flight attendant. Sorry,
Flight
I don't know.
attendant.
I don't know why that's an outdated term, but whatever.
Well, I think flight attendant means, any gender. A stewardess was a girl or steward, but
but you'd have a steward for a boy and stewardess for a girl.
True. So I think they're trying to, like, actor is for actor and actress now, or there's no waitress, it's a server. So it's trying to be gender.
But you have a waiter.
Neutral.
Yeah, but why? You have two words for it. It doesn't matter. Whatever.
I think they're just trying to be. Easy going.
Anyway, the flight attendant asked what she and the kids wanted.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, what do you have? We got Pepsi products, or, we have, Pepsi, Coke, Sprite, or whatever she said. And then she did that thing. Your mom did this one time where they tell you what they have, and then they ask, and then the person asks if they have something else. It's like, well, no, that wasn't on the fucking list we just gave you.
Well, maybe you forgot to mention
So the
it.
first thing she goes, or she like tells them what they have, and she goes, oh, do you guys have root beer? When have you ever seen anybody drinking a fucking root beer on a plane?
Never.
No, they have like a very limited number of drinks, and she told you what they had, and then she's like, no, and she's like,
No.
Do you have lemonade? Like, who is drinking lemonade on the plane? No, we don't have lemonade. Can you make me an Arnold Palmer?
Yeah.
No, I don't think. What, you don't have sun tea here? What are you talking about? So she went with crayon apple, I guess. So
Can't believe they have crayon apple.
I know. Like, I was shocked with that.
Oh my gosh.
But it was funny. The one flight attendant, not stewardess, flight attendant came by and gave us all like the little pretzels or whatever.
Yeah.
You, me, and then the lady in our row that we didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other flight attendant, sorry, came by and thought that we hadn't gotten our snacks yet. All three of us had them in our hands, and we like hid them under the seat or under the tray, and we're like, oh, we'll have cookies or whatever. And we kind of look at this lady and we're like, ha, ha, ha. We all fucking lied to her.
We all got
double
Even
snacks.
though we could have just asked for both snacks.
Yeah, they normally don't care.
When I grew up, you get one snack. Like, here's your snack. Do you want peanuts or pretzels or whatever they give now? And you get one. Now I hear people like, oh, can I have both? Oh, sure, no problem. I'm like, I didn't know that was an option. I would like, but why don't you just give everybody both?
Right. And when did that happen? Back in the 2000s, I remember fighting to get a whole can of Coke. You know, it was like, oh, they'd just give you a glass of it. I'm like, can I have the whole can? And they're like, I guess. Like, bitch, I paid $200 to be on here. You can give me a 50-cent can of Coke.
Yeah, I don't want a little Dixie cup of watered down Coca-Cola.
Yeah. But then, so we got to Chicago. I did not dress appropriately.
You never do.
For Chicago.
You never do.
Well, first of all, I don't own a pair of jeans in Mexico, so I had nothing to wear up there, and that's always the hard thing going from a cold climate or to a warm or vice versa. Is, well, I'm hot now, so if I dress for cold weather, I'm gonna be going through Mexico in a snowsuit, so I don't want to do that. And so anyway, so I wore my shorts and sandals and t-shirt because my winter clothes are at my parents' house that we've kept there because we don't need them down here.
Exactly.
Did not think that did not remember that we were staying the night in Chicago. And all my stuff was in Iowa. So I was like the weird guy going around in sand flip-flops and shorts and t-shirt or whatever in Chicago.
You were that guy. People were giving you some looks like, where are you from, buddy?
Yeah.
All you had to do is bring like a little zip-up jacket or something. I had 2 jackets that I brought, I was still cold.
I was trying to save on our space too so we could bring more beer back. So, But,
always for the beer.
Yeah. So we went to a couple of breweries in Chicago. I did my chug the next day at Wrigley Field, or outside of it. Obviously not at the field because they were done in the playoffs. You call it the playoffs in baseball? I mean, the World Series obviously is the World Series, but playoffs, right?
I think so,
okay. Yeah. So obviously the Cubs were not in it, so I did my chug out there. Went to a couple of breweries, had a good time. Ended the night at like 2 a.m. drinking tequila and whiskey.
Stayed up way too late.
Not a good idea. Yeah. And then next day we drove to Iowa, picked up one of their buddies, and this was my friend Chris and my other buddy Brendan, and they're both from Florida. So they were down to come to UCF, obviously. Yep. Chris went to UCF. Brendan went to Florida, I believe. Yep.
But still UCF.
Yeah, but still they're fans, yeah. And then we just picked up this random guy in Cedar Rapids that was friends with them, but we didn't really know him.
Yeah, so not random, but they're friends.
Yeah, I mean, random is in like we didn't know him.
Yes,
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, so we had a good little road trip over there. It wasn't too bad. It was like 5 hours or something.
We made great time. We didn't have to drive at all. Chris drove the whole time, even though we offered, and it was a quick little trip in Cedar Rapids to pick up their buddy.
Yeah, not too bad. A little cramped on the way there from Cedar Rapids to Des Moines.
At least it was the last like hour.
Yeah, but it was us three in the back seat.
Yeah.
You mean you, me, and Angelo.
Oh, yeah. I'm in the middle like, hey, buddy that I've never met, but you're friends with my friend, so, we're probably going to be friends. So
yeah.
It was nice to get to know him.
Yeah, definitely. And so we get to Des Moines, and we stay at my parents' townhouse that they rent out or whatever. Yep. And so we... 3-bedroom place we had to ourselves. Perfect. And I was like, let's take the guys out downtown Des Moines, hit some of the beer places. We go to this place called El Bait Shop that has 262 beers on tap. It's like one of the biggest beer bars, west of the Mississippi.
Their tap wall is impressive. Every different kind of tap imaginable.
Yeah. And I didn't realize something that they told us when we got this. So it was like, what was there, 6 of us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or 5, whatever. When we went to like get our checks, they split it for us, and they were all like shocked, which I thought was weird because that's something in Mexico they don't like to split checks.
Yeah.
But in the U.S., I never thought it was a big deal. They said in Chicago they have a very hard time getting anyone to split their check. Like it's almost like standard now.
It's so weird
that you have to like pay it all with somebody's card, and then you all got to Venmo each other or whatever. Like
so
I didn't know that was a thing in Chicago. Like what's the mindset behind that?
Yeah. Like why not just split checks? You're probably going to get more of a tip from everybody instead of just one tip where everybody's like, whatever.
Yeah, I'm just winging it, like doing the math in my head. But if it's my personal bill and, you can and you're writing it down yourself and everything, you kind of put some more thought into it. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's very weird. We're used to that here in Mexico. That's a struggle, like you said. But in Chicago, I did not expect that.
No.
You're charging me enough for beer and food and whatever. You can pay the little credit card fee.
Yeah, right. That's what I've always said. Like any country, if it's a big, I get if it's like a taco stand or a little mom and pop chain or something.
Mom and pop shop.
Yeah, but like if you're a big company, eat the 3%. Like, come on, that's just the cost of doing business at this point,
right? Or don't offer credit card.
Yeah.
If you don't want to.
And if you don't offer credit card, I ain't coming.
Nope, definitely not.
But we're walking around downtown Des Moines, and we see a girl coming towards us, and we're all wearing UCF gear, and she has a UCF shirt on, and we're like, go Knights, hey, what's up? And she has a bag full of like pins, and like the button, pins.
Like a big button.
And she's like, do you guys want a pin? And we're like, yeah, sure. So she's digging through them. She has all these different ones. She must have had one of those little pin maker machines at home. And so we all get one, say beat Iowa State or whatever. And we're like, where are you going? She's like, I got to go back to Ames, which is where the Iowa State campus is.
Yeah.
But we told her we were going to El Bait Shop. She says, go say hi to my friends. My name's Jenna or whatever. And say you got these pins on the street. So we go in and we say, we find the other
immediately
UCF people. And we say, hey, like, check out our pins. We're like, we got these from Jenna. And they go, oh, Jenna, that psycho that made all the pins, like they just totally trashed her.
It was funny. They seemed nice though.
Yeah.
Like they were joking.
But there is a thing. Yeah, hopefully. There is a thing in Iowa where maybe we've talked about before, but it's called Iowa nice, where people in the Midwest, and especially Iowa, are just overly nice.
Yes.
This is a place where when you get there, people are holding the door for you. You make eye contact with somebody. You say good morning. Hi, how you doing? Even if it's a complete fucking stranger walking into the gas station, one will hold the door. Hey, how you doing? How you having a good day? Oh yeah, me too. Like just everybody is overly friendly, right?
I have to, when we go back to Iowa, I have to remember that and turn my Iowa nice back on, because we're so used to like down here or Florida or traveling other places, and you always have your guard up. Like, what do you want? What's the problem?
What are you looking at, weirdo?
Where are you from? Are you cool? This whatever. There, you're just like, oh yeah, hi, good morning.
People are just friendly for no reason. Like, what a concept.
Oh my gosh, everyone is really nice.
Oh shoot. So it was funny because we go into this other bar, and I'm sorry, at this point you had gone home.
Yeah. After dinner, I said,
we went to El Bait Shop, and you're like, you and the guys just go out. I was gonna hit a couple bars, show them the area and everything.
I could have gone with you guys.
Oh, for
and,
sure.
Partied hard for sure, but why not let you have the guy time? I was exhausted. I was like, I'm going home and going right to bed.
Yeah. So it was just me and the guys, and we go to this Irish bar called, I don't even remember. It used to be called Mickey's. I think it's called like Rosie's or something now, but I think it was Mickey's.
Yeah.
So we go to this Irish bar. It's an outdoor bar, and very weird mix of people. It's like a little trashy, if that makes any sense. And then it was also college kids, and then people in suits that had gotten off work and stuff. So it was just a weird mix of people. But these we walk inside, and there's a group of maybe 4 or 5 like kind of college age guys, and I'm saying maybe like 22 to 25.
Okay.
We walk in, and they're like, boo. Obviously Iowa State fans, and they're booing us, and
like,
talking shit, but not bad, you know, just like, oh, we're gonna cream you tomorrow.
Yeah. Healthy competition.
Yeah. And then we go to the bar, and I'm talking to one of my buddies, and then I turn around, and our other 3 buddies, they're talking to these guys. They came back around.
The booers.
Yeah. And next thing I know, after having this conversation with my friend, I see this round of shots coming out, and we're like, what the fuck?
Oh.
And these guys that were talking shit to us bought us shots.
Wow.
Yeah. That's Iowa nice.
That's
yeah.
Iowa
I'm gonna talk shit and boo you when you come in, but I'll buy you a shot later.
What did they say? Oh my gosh.
I couldn't overhear their conversation, but they said later, they were like, you guys ever had a dead Nazi?
Oh.
And we're like,
excuse me?
what? And then my buddy Chris was like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, do you prefer live Nazis, you weirdo? And he's like, no.
I just don't know what the first thing was.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a shot. Oh, I wish I could remember what it sounded disgusting.
Gross.
Yeah.
You said like
I mean, it was disgusting, but what was in
Jaeger?
it? It was Jaeger, Rumplemans, and like Bacardi 151 or something like that. It was just like
all the terrible things.
Yeah, I mean, and it tasted terrible too. But but so.
Did it taste like a dead Nazi?
Yeah. Oh, it was funny too, because we were like, they made this shot up. There's no way that's a real fucking shot. And when we got to tailgating at the game, my uncle, who's, I don't know, what is he, like 50s?
Yeah, 60s maybe.
Yeah. Well, how old's my mom? She's like in her late
60s.
Yeah, late 60s. Well, he's the baby of the family. Okay. So yeah, maybe early 60s, late 50s. He's like, oh yeah, I know Dead Nazi. Like he knew exactly what it was. I'm like, all right, I guess it's a thing.
Never heard of it. Oh my gosh.
So then after we went there, we went to play ping pong and skee ball till like 2 a.m.
Oh, that's
we're just like drinking beers, drinking some Busch Lights, playing ping pong, skee ball, you know, having a little guys' night out.
Bar games.
Then we're walking home, and I guess they were setting up for the Des Moines Marathon the next day, and so there's all these bathrooms and road cones and everything.
Oh, like porta potties.
Yeah, porta potties. Yeah, so I went and peed in the porta potty, and then I come out, and the guys are up there. I was like, "Hey guys, check it out! I'm a cone head," and I put on one of the parking cones.
Oh my god,
those things are fucking heavy.
Yeah,
like the base of them, it's not light.
Otherwise, they would tip over in the wind.
Of course, totally makes sense. But the edge of the cone, when it fell off my head and hit me right on the bridge of the nose, and then I had this cut across my nose for like the rest of the trip. I'm like, damn it.
It's the first thing I saw when I woke up and saw your face. I was like, good morning. What happened to your nose? What'd you do?
Yeah. But tailgating the Iowa State UCF game, a little interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, Midwest, as you know, more white.
Yeah.
And the people dancing there definitely showed it.
Yeah.
Because we got a DJ set up, and there's a couple white guys doing the point, shake,
shaky, shake.
Doing some kind of like river dance.
Yeah.
And it was very, very weird. But par for the course in Ames, Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then we brought our beer pong table, but forgot the beer pong balls.
I don't know how we did that. It's so stupid.
And our buddy Brendan, he had ordered something on Uber. I guess, is it Uber Eats that will bring things?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So he ordered something on Uber Eats from the grocery store, and he ordered ping pong balls also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, don't worry, guys. I got it. I'm going to put ping pong balls in my shopping cart.
Right.
Cool.
So fantastic. They get there. He comes back and he goes, yeah, so they're out of ping pong balls. So they decided to fill it with this. Fucking light bulbs. And
not just any light bulb.
yeah, they were like pumpkin light bulbs.
Yeah.
I mean, like light bulbs for the inside of pumpkins or for some weird
A
candle.
little nightlight or something. It looks
Yeah.
like nightlight.
Yeah,
light
nightlight
bulbs.
ones. Yeah, it was like, what the, like, why would you think anybody would need light bulbs instead of ping pong balls?
I don't know. My favorite thing is Brendan asked him, so why would you replace the ping pong balls with the light bulbs when they didn't have it? And the driver was just like dead straight face, like, oh, it gave me, replacement options, and that was one of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's use some common sense.
Right? Right. And then the last thing, my friends asked my mom, hey, are there any like fun or cool Iowa State chants that everybody does and everybody knows? And my mom goes, no, not really. Well, we do have the Juicy Wiggle. And we're like, the Juicy Wiggle? Like,
Excuse me?
what is this? And apparently, I don't know if it's every third quarter or if they're winning or something, the whole stadium does this Juicy Wiggle dance.
Yeah.
And it's like this choreographed dance. Yep. It's like, I don't know how everybody knows it, but
It's like a punch, 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 like an X, like you're making an X, and then you go like hyperdrive, punch, 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 punch. And your mom did it for us, and we're all like, what the heck? And then that was it.
yeah. So I'm like, how does everybody know what to do? Yeah. I mean, especially out of towners, we're like, is this the world's largest flash mob? Are we breaking a world record right now?
Like, what is happening?
Yeah. But it was awesome. It was a really cool experience. Just everybody was super nice. So we went tailgating for the Iowa State UCF game. Nobody like really talked shit to us there when we were walking around with our UCF stuff on.
Yeah. I don't think we were as big as a threat to them. We don't have that rivalry yet. They're like, oh, welcome. They were more welcoming. Like, you're the underdog. Welcome. And we're like, we'll see about that.
Yeah. Also, Iowa nice.
Yes. Iowa nice.
But so my friend that I went to high school with, she like works for a company that also works with UCF.
Yeah.
Like that's one of their clients. And she had asked me or mentioned to me, she's like, hey, I just want to let you know I work with UCF. If you ever need tickets for something, I could try to get them. And I this is a few weeks ago. And I was like, well, actually, I'm going to be in Iowa trying to go to the Iowa State UCF game. You think you could get some?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, let me ask. So she asked and they said, yeah, like pretty sure, but they wouldn't, he said, message me like the week of the game.
Right.
So I'm thinking, okay, like, sounds pretty good. But then my parents were a little worried. They're like, well, what if like they can't get him? Then it's gonna be too late for the game. So my parents got us some like nosebleed seats just in case.
Right.
Just some cheap tickets. And
we all wanted to like sit together.
Right.
So instead of they have season tickets, and instead of everybody being everywhere, we could be together.
Yeah. So we're in the upper deck. And of course the UCF fan section is like, it's bottom bowl, but it's all the way in like the left-hand corner. So they shove you all the way in the corner.
Which, I get it.
Yeah, whatever. So we basically had the upper deck section with like our 9 people, because it was like you, me, the 3 guys, my brother, his girlfriend, and then my friend Amy.
Yeah.
From high school. So so we go up there first because we wanted to sit there first and then maybe go down in the second half to see if we could get in the lower seats. Yeah. Flash forward, we did get the second set of tickets. But they only had 4 or 5 of them.
Yep.
So we're like, let's go to the upper one first. We are in a sea of Iowa State fans.
Yes.
It's just
We're
all,
like, hi.
and it's not like college kids. It's all like the parents and
Yeah.
I mean, some college kids obviously, but
for sure. But it was like diehard ISU fans.
Yeah.
We're like, oh shit.
but it was funny. Some college kid stood up like when it was really quiet and he was trying to be funny without, I mean, not being a dick, but he was kind of trying to be a dick. And he just, when it was quiet, he goes, UCF is not good.
Yeah, what a thing to yell.
Yeah, I don't
Instead
know.
of being like, UCF sucks, he's just like, you were not good at the sport.
Yeah, and he kept on doing that. And then like we started kind of killing it. I mean, not like we were like blowing them away or anything, but we were ahead almost the whole game.
People were shocked.
Yeah, because
for you.
UCF isn't doing great this season. They were 3-4 at the time, and Iowa State was 7-0, and they were ranked like 9th.
You're right. We're doing good this year, but not that good.
So it was funny when we were ahead, and everybody was super quiet. My friend Brendan stands up and goes, UCF is good. And all the Iowa State fans even laughed because like that guy was kind of trying to talk shit the whole game, and he kind of gave it back to him. So that was pretty funny.
I think it was funny because maybe he was testing the waters, seeing if we were jerks or not, but everybody got along. You know, they realized we have a sense of humor too.
Yeah. So we went second half. Oh, and there was like a drone show and everything. Super cool. But second half we went down to like the UCF section.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that, I mean, it was packed, but like where our seats were,
Yeah.
there was like more seats around us, and nobody checked our tickets in the second half.
Yeah.
So we told, my brother and everybody else to come on down. So we got the whole group down there, and we're down in the UCF section. And at this point, we are winning. We are going to win this game.
Yes.
Like it was like the last quarter, and we're way ahead. And then we did something stupid. Oh, that probably saw it on ESPN. One of our guys dropped the ball right before he got in the end zone. We eventually scored. It was like on the 1 yard line, but
it wasn't enough.
Yeah, it wasn't a good idea.
Yeah.
But this girl behind us, UCF fan, I didn't realize, but she was like just a little black girl, and then all of a sudden we hear this, "Motherfucker, you son of a bitch, you piece of shit!" But like she was just going off.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, she was so mad that
She
this
was
guy.
pissed.
Yeah,
She's like, I didn't come all the way here to see this shit.
Yeah.
They're like,
yeah. So there was a couple calls I felt like maybe would have made the game go the other way, but they ended up playing the clock and beating us by like, what was it, like 1 or 3 or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't by much. I'm glad it wasn't, just a blowout.
So, and my mom's a huge Iowa State fan, so we would have crushed their undefeated season so far, and they're ranked 9th, and we're unranked in 3 and 4. So I would have felt bad ruining that. I really did want us to win, though.
I wanted us to win. I'm not thinking of anybody else's team or any else's stats or whatever. Just want my team to win.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I think it ended the best way it could. We only lost by a couple points. We kind of shocked them.
Yes.
And
I think they thought it was going to be a blowout. Like, oh, we'll just play this game and we'll win and go home.
Kind of humbled them a little bit, and I think that definitely helped us at the end of the game, because while walking out, not a lot of shit talking.
No.
I mean, there was some some guy. This guy was a fucking asshole. Like, it was one dude, and he was like, just we're walking out and he's drunk yelling, some college kid, and he's yelling. He said something kind of like shit. It was right after, was it Hurricane Milton? Was that the big one that hit Florida? Yeah. It was right after that, and he said something about the hurricane or whatever, and like kind of like giving a shit about it. And it was like, dude, like people fucking died and like lost their whole family or their livelihood or their house or something. Like that's
He's
not a cool.
Joking about wiping us off the map or something.
Yeah,
like, how rude.
Yeah, and exactly. And so that's I didn't say something to him exactly. I was just kind of saying it in the crowd, and I was like, oh, is this Iowa nice that we hear so much about or whatever? And so everybody kind of quieted down, I think.
Those other people by us were like, shut up.
Yeah. And then some other guy was talking shit, and he was like, enjoy your trip back to Florida. And I wanted to be like, it's fucking freezing here, and you live in the middle of Iowa. I'm from Iowa, but no offense, like they get to go home to Florida, and y'all still have to live here.
Yeah.
So,
We'll enjoy our 90-degree weather and our beaches.
Yeah, right.
Thanks, bye.
That's what I'm saying. Like, enjoy your beaches and your beautiful weather and your hot women in bikinis.
Yeah.
Bet you wish you had bush light and corn.
Yeah. We're like, enjoy the winter.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah, right. So, but besides that, everybody was really nice. It was a great game. It was a lot of fun. We tailgated with my uncle and his family, and some other friends came by. So yeah, it was a good time. Right?
It was nice. Even when we were walking around the whole tailgate area, everyone was very welcoming. Even I was like, should we walk around in our UCF stuff, or like, I don't want to get beat up. Everyone was nice. Like, come here, we'll feed you. Come jam with us. You want a Jello shot? Everyone was very welcoming.
Yeah. It was a cool experience for sure.
Yeah, that school is nuts. It was so loud in the stadium. It was like loud, and then I swear they turned it up even louder. I was like, I've never felt that much energy in my life I haven't been to a lot of college games, but I've been to professional games. They had the energy, ISU, for sure.
Oh, and that's what my friends were saying. They were like, it was just an amazing experience. Like just the game experience. Like they had a drone show at halftime.
Yeah.
The chants, the music in between, the dances. Like they made it. It's not. I mean, obviously it's a football game, but they made it not just about the football game. They made it fun.
Yeah, it was a party.
Yeah,
it really
it was a big party. Yeah. So yeah, it was a good time.
It was a good time.
Yeah, definitely worth going to. And then one of the last things we did before we left Iowa is we want to make sure we voted.
Yes.
So, and I know voting is, I mean, the last day to vote, obviously the election is coming up in, was it 4 days, I guess? So just want to encourage everybody to go out and vote. Whoever you're voting for, please just, make your voice heard. You can't complain about anything if you don't, participate.
Yeah, you can't complain if you don't go vote. And we were lucky enough we were going to do an absentee ballot, but we got lucky enough that the early voting fell when we were in Iowa.
Yeah.
So
and that's still,
why not go do it ourselves?
I still don't completely understand how that works when you live in another country, because like the mail does not work in Mexico. So like if we got a ballot, like how do you send it in there? I mean, we would have had to have somebody take it probably, but like how do people in like that live in Zimbabwe or something, send their votes in? Like it would take like 3 months or something.
They probably have a specialized like not parcel service, but you're not just sending it in the mail. You're probably sending it like a DHL or something like that to then go to the mail. Maybe. I'm sure there's like voter specific addresses.
Yeah. But it worked out good because we were in the US like right when early voting started. So we went downtown Des Moines, first day of early voting, and got our vote in, and we're only in line for like 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, of course. Well, the one by your parents' house was closed on Monday, so we went downtown. But yeah, it was really easy.
Yeah, it was funny because we got in line, and there was some guy, and he just came up and got in line behind us and started talking to us immediately.
As soon as I saw him, I was like, he's going to be a talker.
Yeah, and he's wearing like biking outfit, like spandex and everything, and his bicycle helmet, and he had his bike tied up right in front of the building, and he kept on talking about his helmet, like, I hope they let me in with this. And I wanted to be like, take it off your fucking head. Like, you don't need to wear it, and even if you are wearing it, why would they care? They don't care about your fucking bike helmet. You can vote with a bike helmet, I would think, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's just your hat. Who
Yeah.
cares? You're not holding like an animal or a bike or something. You're not holding the bike itself into the voting place. It's just a helmet.
Yeah. And then the lady in front of us, she's on her phone, and I don't know. I'm just looking around because we're standing in line, and I'm reading her text messages, and she's typing, just hit somebody's car in the parking lot while early voting, scratched it up a bit, and I didn't see the rest of it. But then she's sending this person pictures and stuff, and I was like, oh shit.
She's probably like, what should I do?
Right. Oh man.
There were some characters there. There was a lady there with a dog in her purse.
Oh yeah, we saw that.
It wasn't even a dog bag. It was her purse. And then I go, look, a little head pops out.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah. So that was super funny. So if you can bring a dog in, I'm sure you can wear your bike helmet in.
Exactly.
But it was really easy.
So easy.
Just show your driver's license. You have to show your driver's license, at least in Iowa. There weren't overwhelming number of Mexican illegals there voting or anything. And that's the I don't want to get political, but I just want to make this point for anybody that thinks that like hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants are voting. Okay, so this is the mindset. They traveled thousands of miles to the border, climbed over the wall or whatever, or got in on asylum or this or that, are here illegally, have a job illegally, are trying to fly under the radar, and their next thought is, you know what? I should go to a government building and register with a government form and let the government know that I'm voting for this person for president of a country that I'm in illegally.
Right.
That's not typically happening.
No.
I'm sure there's some outliers and stuff like that, but that is not an overwhelming thing that is happening.
Yeah.
Like people, I mean, we're in Mexico. I pay attention to the politics and stuff and what's going on, just how it affects our city. But it's never crossed and I'm here legally.
Yeah.
It's never crossed my mind to try and go and vote in an election that I know that I'm in a country that I know I'm here illegally in. Like that would make no sense.
Or I think, as some people think that they're bribing them to go vote. Hey, here's a ID or information you can use. Take this money and go vote for this specific person. That's not happening either. They knew exactly who I was. I gave my ID. They scanned it. They actually scanned it and knew exactly, hey, we mailed you an absentee ballot. When you get it, make sure you shred it. She knew everything about me. There's no way you're going up there and just voting willy-nilly.
Yeah.
They took our picture. They knew everything. The weirdest thing I thought was, I just feel weird filling in the Scantron bubbles.
It takes so long.
It takes so long. I've done the electronic one before with like the key card and stuff. This is the second time I feel like I've filled in a bubble, and it's so nerve wracking because you remember the Scantron sheets when we were in like high school, and it's a pen, and I'm trying to fill out this thing with a pen. It
takes forever,
I'm
right?
Are you sure I'm supposed to use a pen? It just seemed odd.
Well, and then in school, when you had to fill in those Scantron bubbles, you felt like if you had even like a little dot outside of it, like, oh, is the machine going to read it wrong or whatever? But, I mean,
when those
it doesn't.
were always pencil, number 2 pencil had to be lead. This is pen. So I'm like, okay, is this right?
But we got it done. Didn't take long. Got our sticker, and we wore a sticker for the rest of the day. And we went to Walmart afterwards to get something.
Yeah.
And these high school girls are walking towards me, and then I'm not even, we're just in a daze. We're just walking around, and one of them says something to me. I'm like, oh my God, do I know this girl or something? And she says, you voted already? And I was like, oh yeah, like we just voted downtown.
No, she goes, oh, voting's today?
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
We're like, ugh.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, dumbass. But anyway, she's like, oh, did you vote for, and then says one of the names of the candidates, and I was like, ew, no. And then she gives me this like, yeah, look, and just walked off. And I was like, okay, well, at least you're excited about voting, or I mean, not excited, but interested about voting. So,
exactly.
And then we were walking around, the store, and you and my mom were in another aisle, and I was walking around this one aisle, and this older guy goes, hey, where can you vote? You can start voting today? I was like, yeah. I was like, downtown Des Moines. And he's like, oh, cool. And so I just kind of said that, and I walked away. And I hear you guys talking, and then I hear that you're talking to the same guy, and I'm listening. I hear the voice, and I go, holy shit, that's Louie. So I come back around, and it's my soccer coach from when I was like 8 years old. And he has a kind of a trucker hat on, and he has a long ponytail, like down, and gray hair and everything.
Pepe.
I just did not recognize him because when, like I said, he was my soccer coach when I was a kid. He was like a kid living on the streets of Costa Rica.
Oh.
A family was vacationing there, and basically, this is weird, just took him home. Like I don't know them. Obviously they adopted him or whatever, but it was just weird that they were on vacation. They brought home a child.
We'll take you.
Usually it's like a dog or a cat or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever. So, took this guy from nothing in Costa Rica in the slums or whatever, bring him to Iowa, raise him there. He joins the National Guard. So he's in the military in the United States. He became our soccer coach, and I loved him as our soccer coach because we would go to these little kid tournaments and stuff in soccer, and he would sometimes come late because he was coming from drill practice or whatever the fuck they do.
Oh yeah.
And he comes in like, they got their soccer coach at some kid's dad or whatever.
Yeah.
And we got this guy that comes in military fatigues, and he's, Costa Rican, and
we're with him.
He's like, and he's screaming like a drill sergeant. He's like, you guys do this. And all the other little kids are like, oh my God, they have this professional coach. He used to do this shit where he would kick a soccer ball as high, and like we're 8 at the time, he would kick the soccer ball as high as he could, and we would have to head it or chest it. And that was to teach us to not be afraid of the ball. But, nobody else was doing that to kids at the time.
No.
Like
you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Yeah. But he would you'd be like, if we did something wrong, run to the pole. So there was this, the siren for tornadoes, the tornado siren.
Yep.
There was this pole at the place where we practiced, and it felt like it was so far away, but it was probably like 200 yards or something like that. But run to the pole.
Oh,
So
you're 8 with your little legs, like
yeah. So he trained us like little soldiers or whatever. So we were really good at soccer at the time. But
I love that we go back to Iowa, and there, no matter where we are or what we're doing, I always feel like I need to not look my absolute best, but I can't just bum around Iowa and have a hat on and look like shit, no makeup, because you guys always know somebody, whether it's your soccer coach from 8 years old or your first grade teacher or, extended family or just friends of friends, or even like the local Casey's, things like that. You guys know everybody there, rightfully so, because your parents and you've been there so long.
Yeah.
But we always run into somebody,
and
or someone's daughter, this or that. I'm like, oh my God.
And that's what I hate about it, because I
it's a love-hate.
Well, I hate the small talk sometimes, if it's somebody that like maybe you don't want to talk to or whatever, but it used to be worse because we've lived there since like 88, 89.
Yeah.
I moved there in kindergarten. And the town was like 20,000 people. It's like 90,000 people now.
And
so
you still see people you know.
But when I used to go back when I was in college or after college and my 20s or whatever, the town was smaller, so like you knew everybody. I mean, at the time when I'm growing up, I knew everybody.
You really knew everybody.
And then you really knew everybody. So it was every time you went to the grocery store or whatever, it was like, what are you up to now? Where are
Yeah.
you living? What do you do for work? Blah, blah, blah. You know, so it got kind of annoying. Now it's weirder because since it is a big city or a bigger city, when you go to the grocery store, if you make eye contact with somebody,
Yeah.
you're like, shit, is that somebody I should know? You know, like my soccer coach.
Yeah.
If you guys weren't there, I would have walked right by, and who knows, he would have just told these people, yeah, I saw Nate at the grocery store and he was a huge fucking dick now. He
Walked
just like
right past
walked
me.
right by me, you know? So I'm always worried about that. Like those girls that in the first place, I didn't know them, but
Yeah.
when they made eye contact and started talking to me, I was like, oh fuck, who are they? Is this somebody's little sister that I should know or something?
Like
You
they
know?
were messing with you. Like, do I know you?
Yeah, exactly. And then one of the last things we did before we left Iowa, we went and saw my 90, is he 90 or 91?
90 now.
Yeah, I think 90-year-old grandma. Yeah, we
Yeah.
just had our 90th birthday party
Yeah.
in August.
Yes.
My 90-year-old grandmother at the nursing home.
Yeah. Grandma Audrey.
Yeah, so and we asked her about voting. We're like, do you guys get to vote here?
Yeah.
And she said they come in. I think they bring everything into the nursing home,
Right.
and they have people that will sit with them and read things for people that can't see very well anymore,
Yeah.
or can't
Help.
hear the
Or
instructions.
even the ones that can't write, they'll help them, fill things out. And
Yeah,
that's nice. But I like that they can read it because your grandmother can't read as much anymore. Her vision's not great. So they go down the line and read everything and explain it to him. Who's this candidate? What's this candidate? That's great.
yeah. So but we were asking her about her room. There's 2 beds in it, and she doesn't have a roommate. And we
Right.
were like, oh, how do you like? And when
You're lucky.
are you getting a roommate? How do they know, pick or whatever? And she was like, yeah, they like pair you up with somebody with similar things. And I was like, oh, okay, like you should tell them like, oh yeah, I listen to rock music really loud until midnight or something,
Yeah.
so nobody comes in. But she was like, yeah, she's like, all the people here are so old. A 90-year-old woman, she's
Yes.
like, everybody here is so old.
She's like, I might be in a 90-year-old body, but up here,
Yeah. So she was talking about that, and then, I just thought that was so funny. And she even told us some stories about Halloween and doing pranks and stuff. And she was like,
yeah.
I remember being a girl, and we would go like door to door. It was basically kind of like Ding Dong Ditch,
Yeah.
but they would open up the front door, and then she was talking about some paper for photography that they would light on fire.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I took a photography class, and I feel like there was some kind of like filament paper that you had to do to develop photos.
Yeah.
And you had to like kind of like light it, and it would like burn off or whatever. And I don't know, I can't remember exactly. But I think that's what she was talking about doing. And they would open up the front door, and they would put that paper in and light it on fire, and then they'd just fucking run.
Which I was very shocked. That's what she said. We're
Yeah.
like, what? I'm thinking like, oh, we just shoved some leaves in their mail slot or something. Just setting shit on fire,
Yeah,
Grandma Audrey, and
yeah.
throwing it in people's houses.
And she was talking about how one of the doormats was made out of, I don't know, some kind of
like fiber, like a hay or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Not hay, but whatever.
like straw or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, like one of those kind of what is it called? Like the bristly kind of
Yeah, I can't even
fibrous
think of that
material.
stuff.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was talking about how one of them, when they shut in the door, it caught the doormat on fire, and
Yeah.
the whole thing went up in flames. She's like, the people came out in time, but she's like, they didn't do anything about that shit back then. And he's like, today we'd probably be in jail.
Yeah. She's like, I'm glad we never set anyone's whole house on fire.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
And then she told us a story about how, she's like, I'm around in my room, and she's like, I drop things, and I get upset because it, rolls across the room, and she's older, so it's hard to bend down and get in stuff. And
Yeah.
she's like, I might let out an inappropriate word or two when that happens. And she says that the nurses peek their head in, and they go, Audrey, she's like, didn't you work at a church? Because my
Like
grandma,
80 years.
yeah,
or
my
something?
grandma worked at a church most of her life. She's like,
Yeah.
this little old grandma's in here going, this fucking pen, or
Yeah.
whatever she was saying.
I think she told him that too for the roommate. Like, what should they know about you? Well, I slip out a cuss word here and there sometimes. They're probably like, oh man, we can't put anywhere in with her.
Yeah, but it's great.
love
But
it.
I know everybody probably knows this, but spend as much time with your grandparents as you can.
Yeah.
Like we always learn more about them every time we go back, because you kind of know your grandma as a kid.
Yeah.
And when you talk to them as an adult, you hear more stories, and
Oh,
you
for
and you
sure.
remember more stories, and
And
so
I swear, I mean, we'll talk about it. We saw my yaya too in Pittsburgh, and you have one grandma yet left, and so do I. But same thing. I'm hearing stories that I haven't heard before. I've heard the same 20
same 10,
stories,
20 stories, yeah.
for my entire life, but more come out, I guess, at the end there. And it's just, I don't know what the right thing to do is, but our grandmothers in these like retirement homes. It's just so sad. I know you can do the best you can as your family to take that responsibility on, but you can't have them at your house all the time. It's not safe, and you have your own life and your job to tend to, but putting them in these different homes, and some are better than others and some are worse, but it just makes me sad because all these they're just sitting there, you know, just sitting there watching TV and waiting.
Yeah, it is sad.
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks for the downer, Lex.
but she's happy and she's doing her thing.
Yeah, but my point is go see your grandparents if you can, because it means the world to them, and you learn more about them and your family and everything else. And yeah, it's super cool. If you have any grandparents left, do it while you can, because we always make sure if we're around or nearby, we go and try to see them, because you never know. You never know what's going to happen.
An hour or two, go see them.
But also, totally forgot. Obviously we recorded this a little bit earlier in the week, but yesterday was was Halloween. Yep. So happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
And today is
I got my shirt on.
Oh yeah, the Hocus Pocus. Yeah, and Feliz Dia de Muertos, happy Day of the Dead, which is today and tomorrow. Yep. And obviously there's other days leading up to it with different celebrations, but the main 2 days are today and tomorrow. Yes. But since we record this a little bit earlier, we will be talking about what we did for Halloween and Dia de Muertos next week. Yes. And we'll also finish up some of our trips. So we still have our road trip with my parents over to Pittsburgh.
Don't miss that.
Yeah. We have we stayed at the Beer Hotel in Columbus, Ohio. Yes. So we can talk a little bit more about that. And then we can talk about our time in Pittsburgh and what we did and the food we ate and what we watched and things that happened. And
we ate our way through 4 states.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yes, definitely.
Ate and drank.
Yeah. So as usual, if you'd like to support the podcast, buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can buy us some virtual beers. Yep. You can go to hansonsonhiatus.com and you can visit the merch store there. We got the links to the podcast. If you're enjoying it, you can send it to other people. Please like, follow, share, subscribe. Yes. Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, YouTube Music. Again, thank you to Tom for buying us 8 virtual beers.
Thank you so much,
Really appreciate it. And hope you guys have a great holiday weekend with Halloween and Dia de Muertos.
Be safe. Yes. Everyone be safe.
And we will talk to you next week. Happy Friday, fuckers.
Happy Friday, fuckies.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now. Bye.